The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
Hi everyone, just Lee again here from Next Level Awareness, and in this video I want to talk about prayer and what I think of prayer. And we've all been to church when we were young at some point, whether you're religious or not, and you've seen everybody closing their eyes to pray, kind of doing this with their hands. But whether or not this works or not is a different story, because from what I've witnessed looking at people in church, they're kind of doing this because they're told to do it rather than doing it from their own soul. So I used to go to a lot of spiritual churches, and they were quite religious, so to speak. They were very Christian, the spiritualist churches, because they would always say the Lord's Prayer. Everybody would close their eyes and be like saying this prayer, whereas I would just go and keep my eyes open, because sometimes when you close your eyes, you block your own mind from projecting words that you might want to put in a prayer, you see. So I would just stand there with my eyes open, just listening to the prayer, projecting it, and just watching everyone else with their eyes closed, thinking, why are they doing this? They're not thinking for themselves. They're closing their eyes because they've been told by society that you're supposed to close your eyes when you pray. But in reality, what difference does it make if you close your eyes or not when you pray, you see? So you've got to kind of look at prayer from a more realistic angle, rather than the way we've been conditioned to look at it with old medieval doctrines and all these old superstitious ways. Because that's the problem with prayer. Like when I used to go to church, I used to watch them bless people. I didn't go to church religiously. I wasn't religious. I just went every so often just to see what it was like and what they were doing. And I noticed a lot of people were just praying, but they weren't actually praying themselves. You see, the vicar was saying this prayer that's probably been wrote thousands of years ago, and everybody was just listening to this prayer with their eyes closed, thinking that this prayer was doing them good. But in reality, it wasn't really doing them good, you see, because the way I see prayer is it has to be done by your own soul. If your own soul doesn't know what it's praying for and somebody else is doing it for you, that's not going to work in my reality. It might work in yours, but in mine, it's not realistic to do that, you see. That's why we can never kind of pray for other people. If we pray for somebody else, that prayer is only going to work in our reality. It might not work in their reality, you see, because if they want to change their reality, they have to pray themselves, and they have to fully believe the prayer that they're saying. They have to fully feel the prayer coming true, which is also one of the laws of the universe, which is the law of attraction. So prayer is kind of like a toolkit to kind of bring in the law of attraction, but unfortunately I think it's done in the wrong way, and many people pray not even knowing that they're doing it wrong, you see, because they've been conditioned into thinking this is how they're supposed to pray. But for me, if I pray, which I have done in the past, I kind of feel a connection to the Creator. I kind of feel, whether it's the Creator or whether it's yourself, I fully feel it, and I say the prayer, and I kind of feel love as I'm saying it. And it's I would never pray for something that's not fully possible within my own reality, you see. It's no good like praying, oh, I wish I could fly or anything like that, because that's likely not going to happen within our reality, you see. So you've got to understand the laws of the universe first. You've got to pray for yourself, and you can't pray for anybody else. This is just my opinion of it. Some people think if the world all prayed at the same time for something to happen, it would happen, but it depends whether the world understand the law of attraction or not, and everybody praying to feel it and fully see it happening. That might work, okay? But in my reality, in this day and age, the way we've been conditioned to pray, that wouldn't work. So an example of this, when my mother died, okay, my mother died 8 years ago, and I was very, very upset. Luckily, she left me a house to live in, so I could keep on the same house. Luckily, I had somewhere to live, and I thought to myself, well, it could have been worse, okay? I thought to myself, it could have been worse. Yes, I'm very heartbroken. My mother's died. I went through like a dark night of the soul. But at the end of it, I was like, well, it could have been worse. I'm still alive. I've still got a house to live in. I've got a job, this and that. And I was like, okay, it could be a lot worse. So I kind of prayed to the universe. And the prayer that I said was, okay, I've got this life. I've got everything that I have. I'm now going to use my time to help others. And I'm going to share my knowledge to help others evolve in the world. In return, please can I have a decent life? Please can I have everything I need in life? And when I was saying this prayer, I was saying it from the heart, because I genuinely love the world. I genuinely wanted to help the world. And since then, everything that I've needed has come to us. I've never really struggled so much because I've always had what I've needed. And to me, that prayer might have come true because of the law of attraction or whatever it is that's made this come true. I mean, the universe might listen to you. It might be intelligent if it's not you already as God. But prayer can work if you say it in the right way, if you fully feel it and fully use love when you're saying the prayer. That kind of reinforces your prayer in your mind and your higher consciousness, and it kind of makes it happen eventually, okay? Because you've already got that in your mind, you fully expect it to happen, you've got to fully expect it, you've got to fully mean it from the heart, and then eventually it'll happen. And every time I've prayed like that, it's always happened eventually. Okay, it's always come true eventually. So I think prayer could be a real thing. It's certainly, in my eyes, not what they're doing in church. Okay, that's not real prayer. That's like an old superstitious way of doing it. Some might disagree with me there, but which is fine. You just do what you feels right for you. But in my eyes, that's not real. But what do you guys think of that, guys? Do you pray? Do you think prayer is real? Do you think it works? Do you think there is an external source, like a creator who you can pray to and he makes things happen, or it makes things happen? Or do you think you're just praying to yourself in your own internal consciousness or your highest consciousness, and that's making it happen because it's giving you the realization and the ability to make it happen within this matrix? So yeah, what's your views on that, guys? Just thought I'd share that with you today. So yeah, please leave a comment about that, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for listening to me today. I'll tell you what the universe tells me. Have a nice day, guys.